something that happened that's wrong, people need to know what they did that's wrong. If we ran on a platform of transparency here, Paul, with you as our leader, and I don't see that transparency somehow in this particular issue. I don't quite understand it, and maybe it's nothing, but it sounds like something, and it hasn't been explained to the board to my satisfaction, or to any. I can't imagine to anybody's satisfaction. I still don't know what they did wrong, if they did anything wrong. Now, if it's just personality, sometimes groups can't work with certain personalities, then the committee chair should say so. But to be let go, and if that's the message we're sending to our volunteers, that, hey, if someone doesn't like you, you're out of here. I don't think that's fair. And by the way, in the public sector or the private sector, this would never happen. If this was a union, which certainly it's not, wait a minute, don't take the mic from me. You would get a notice, you would say you did something wrong, let's address what you did wrong, in private or whatever. People have a right to know. That's the way it is in this country, and that's the way it's always been. It's called due process. So as long as they know, I'm not saying that they would have a voice to override the committee chair or the president, but I think they have a right to know. Thank you.
In the private sector, it would not happen like this. It happens privately. Security shows up at your office with a black box, and you'll meet you in the parking lot in 10 minutes.
But you're allowed to know why you're let go.
Yes.
Oh, that's fair.
And these folks have been told why they've been let go. They don't want to hear it. Now, if they're not listening, we're supposed to sit here in this meeting and embarrass everybody. That's not going to happen, Jack.
No, I'm not saying this
And it's not a mystery.
Okay. Then maybe you know why.
Well, I'm here, and I spend time, and I talk to the members of the committee, yes, and I talk to all the individuals.
Okay. I've heard from members of the committee, and
I do not accept the notion that there's something being hidden or is lacking in transparency with budget and finance. I will never do that. I think it's hurtful to this association to even suggest that.
So then why are they being let go?
Could I have a moment as treasurer and the board member on that committee, if I could just speak for a moment. I was as surprised as Julie and Jan were with that announcement. It came to me as a shock. As far as I'm concerned, those two individuals have done a stellar job on our committee. The biggest problem I personally saw in the committee was personalities. Period. Okay. Whether their job was accurate, trustworthy, no question. Everything's above board, and they were making sure everything was above board, and I believe that whole committee has been doing that all along. There's nothing going underneath. I'm putting my statement on that. Okay. It is a personality issue. I am feeling ugly even having to mention that. But I have been brought to this decision by the board and the structure that we have, that the committee chairman has to run his own committee. Do I like it? No. I think we're losing a great asset in our community. Will I in the future be asking some individuals to be put onto that committee? Darn tootin'. But at this stage, we're following the procedure that we are forced to.
But then that's fair. If that's the committee's chair's recommendation to the president, we can live with that as long as we understand that's what it is. If the committee doesn't function because of that disruption, then at least that's a reasonable.
We have a motion on the table. Betsy, do we get a second on that?
I think Mike seconded.
Any further discussion?
I would just ask that you do committee by committee, please, Paul.
I'm sorry, Jack, what are you saying?
I think last year what we did was you just went down committee by committee for the vote. Yeah, we did.
Can we do this in discussion, Jack? We'll just bring up the AAC. Any changes? Any adjustments? ARC?
So Paul, I would just ask as a secretary that you just take the vote on the AAC. There's only so many committees.
Okay, we'll amend the motion and the second to show the motion to accept the roster for the AAC. The second that Mike did will accept the amended. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Make the motion that we accept the ARC as listed as a roster. Diane has a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? I make the motion that we accept CERT committee. Got a second? Any discussion? Yes. Oh, no. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Budget and Finance. Make the motion that we accept the roster as displayed. We got a second. Any discussion? Further discussion?
Diane seconded, Betsy.
All in favor? Any opposed?
I oppose.
One opposed and one abstain.
John opposed. Mike?
Joe, you're trying to count.
Where are we, Betsy?
There are two that oppose, one abstain.
And 3-4?
And
4-4, rather. I'm sorry, 4-4. Very good. Motion carries. Community Relations. Make the motion we accept the roster. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Public Works. I'll second that. With the co-chair of Jim Stewart as co-chair. That's been in when we amended here, sorry. I second that. Any discussion? Randy, you'll take care of that co-chair on there, please?
I will, yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Safety and Security. I make the motion we accept the roster as displayed.
I'll second.
Got a second? Any discussion? Maybe we should ask Dan about that. All in favor? Any opposed? Very good. And the update committee, we noticed Ginger and Jackie are listed here. They'll be added to the group. I make the motion that we accept the update committee as displayed. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Children's Rec. Thank goodness for Sherry M., who took over for Jill. I make the motion we accept Children's Rec roster.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Legal and Bylaws. We also included Philip Mertens here. I make the motion that we accept the roster for Legal and Bylaws.
I'll second, Paul.
All in favor? Or discussion, all in favor? Any opposed? The Election Committee. I make the motion we accept the Election Committee. Diane's got the second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? And lastly, the Ad Hoc Beautification Committee. I make the motion that we accept the committee, we accept the roster as posted. Yeah. We got a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Very good. We've completed the agenda for this meeting. I make the motion that we adjourn.
I'll second, Paul.
Thank you all for coming.